All right, guys, Freddy Fabricate here again, and we're finally getting around to doing some upgrades on the CNC machine here, guys. I had this Bosch router on here. I put this on 8 years ago when I made the machine, and I always expected it to fail, like within the first year or something like that. It actually just failed on me 8 years later. I mean, I don't run it all day, every day, but at least 3 days a week. You could see the top had tons of junk in here. Electronically, it still ran. Just the bearing seized up on it. So my props to Bosch. This thing definitely, it was milling nothing but aluminum the entire time. So I'm going to switch the camera around. I'm going to show you guys what we're doing on the CNC right now. All right, so I got the spindle mounted. I didn't film the beginning of this. I just had to change over the mount. I bought this spindle 8 years ago, and like I said, I was planning on switching it over at the time. Jumping from like 1 horsepower to 3. We're gonna water cool it. You could see I mounted 2 little CPU fans here with little mini radiators. Have some of the coolant lines hooked up already. Kind of put one on each side. Look like earmuffs, I guess. And then I'm going to be mounting a little water pump in the back, clear water pump so I could see water flow. And I had a drill and tap to mount my air and coolant blast back in the front. I'm messing around with the height. I think I'm going to go with that for now. I kind of see the spindles all over the place, but I mill mostly flat stock, as you can see here. So I don't need it to go that deep. In the future, these spindles, can slide up and down, so that's pretty cool. All right, I'm gonna shut this down. I'm gonna go around the back and show you what I'm doing. All right, so I bought a bunch of cable chain. I'm going to route the double shielded cable, the power cable to the spindle. I'm gonna route it this way and kind of go in the opposite direction as all my control cabling. I put a couple of pieces of angle iron in here. Where the heck is it? Right there. And another one down on the end. Maybe you could see the original one, all the wiring came in this direction. I'm just routing the other one to the other side of the table. And I'm hoping I'm not gonna have any interference or EMI problems, stuff like that. Now on the back here, I just have this little water pump. I made up a piece of aluminum that's going on here. Just gonna drill and tap some holes. And I'm gonna put the pump there. I'm trying to get the pump as the highest part of the system so I can fill it through the top and kind of use that as an air bleed at the same time. This is the mounting block that I have here. It's definitely way overkill, but just what I had laying around. You could hopefully see I have scribe lines on there. I just put this on here, lined it up as best I could. I made little marks with a pencil on the side to kind of center it. And then I just took caliper here, and you just kind of get it set where you want it and then scribe straight across to the edge. Do that around in 4 directions, and then I'll take a center punch and I'll center punch all the crosses here, as you can see. All right, so I'm using one of these automatic center punches here. If you guys don't have these, man, are they great. Obviously you could do it with an old-fashioned punch and hammer, but just going to get that centered as best I can, push down, and we'll do that all the way around. All right, you want to talk about pushing something to its limits here, guy. So I have this vise back just as far as it could go, and man, do I just fit it in there. But hey, that's all we need, right? Okay, the screw is going to be 8/32. I have a tap ready to go. Now we're just gonna look at the chart here. I always go back to this chart, guys. It's from my old Snap-on tap and die set. This was actually my dad's. And it's still working great. 8/32 we said. And I'm gonna go with 9/64 on the drill bit. Hopefully you guys can see that. Next up, Got the little 8/32 tap here. Just have it in my drill. It's gonna go nice and easy. I'm going to lube up each hole one at a time and just run it through and back. I'm gonna do this off camera because I want to be able to hold this. You know, it's not a bad idea. I could probably try to use this guy and secure the vise a little better, but it's not really needed for this. All right, I got all the holes tapped. Got some nice shiny brand new 8/32 screws. The only problem is they're way too long. You can see here. I'm gonna show you guys this trick. Some of you are gonna say, that's the oldest trick in the book. But I did not know this trick for most of my younger years growing up. I used to cut every screw with the grinder. And although that works, it's a pain in the butt. If you look on just a regular crimping pliers, you know, basic stuff here, guys. There's all these little threads here. You can see, unfortunately, the 441, I have a piece of screw broken off in there. But you got 6/32, 8/32, 10/24, 10/36. So basically, you just put it in, get it to the length you want. It's threaded into this side, and then the back side is slightly larger. So when you pull it, it's going to snap it right off. I'm going to see if I'm strong enough to do this with one hand. All right, wow. And then you basically just screw it out. Of course, I can't do this part. All right, I need a screwdriver. But you get the point. Screw it out, and then, you know, obviously make them all four the same length. All right, we're at the back side of the table, or I should say the right side of the table. You could see here, I was just showing you guys how I have this cable chain coming across. I'm going to end it around here. And then I'll figure out a way to get the wires over to this one. I have it mounted next to the proximity sensor here. I just put one screw for now coming from the bottom. I'm gonna try to even this one out with the other one on the far side. Hopefully you guys could see that. Maybe I can zoom in a little. There we go. I'm gonna measure that to the end of the aluminum extrusion, excuse me. And then I'll do the same thing here. This is just gonna run down to the end. I'll cut it off there, probably slice this, put one screw to hold it down, and then I'll figure out a way to get it from here into the VFD control box, which is going to be right there. All right, I'm jumping around a little bit, guys. Here's the VFD control box. I'm obviously running out of space quickly in here. This is a fiberglass box. It's basically all I had. So I'm going to I have a piece of copper bus bar. I'm gonna mount this somewhere in there, just a small piece, run all my grounds to it, and then run a nice heavy duty ground strap to the steel frame of the CNC. I just had this little 12-volt power supply. I was using this to test the fan I have. I ordered a 12-volt 220 power supply that's going to be mounted in here. I'm going to bring my 220 in here, single phase, run it to the VFD. I'm going to put another one of these little fittings here, probably over here somewhere. So I'll have 12 volts coming out. That'll power the two fans and the water pump on the gantry. I'll have line voltage in, 220, and then I'll have another line coming out and going to the spindle. That's that double shielded cable that I got. So far, basically just mounted the fan, took a big hole saw, cut this. It's, in that respect, it's nice working with the fiberglass. It's much easier, guys. I also have some of this junk. I kind of save everything. So this is steel, believe it or not. I'm going to try to cut these in half with some tin snips, put them side by side, weld them down the middle, and cut an opening up on the top here, and probably just rivet this on with the louvers facing down. It's going to be a pressurized cabinet, so I'm going to suck air in and pressurize it and push out that opening. I'm going to make a little sheet metal cover here for a filter that'll just slide in from the top. All right, guys. So I definitely changed my mind. I think that was just completely retarded of me to want to cut this, weld it, just to have them facing down. Just going to mount this sideways. This piece by itself looks pretty good. These holes were here already, so I just kept them. I might put one extra one on the end here, and I put 2 up in the corners. All I did was cut it to fit. I'm gonna trace it out as best I can, and then with the grinder, I'll just cut like a rectangle underneath it. We should be good. All right, so I started bending up some sheet metal, just using the tin snips here, using these guys, cutting it, and then going over to my Bridgeport, just mounting it in the vise and putting some nice little bends on it. You don't have to get that crazy. My plan was, I put the bottom bend, I'm gonna catch 2 screws down here. I'm gonna bend this top in, and I was hoping to catch something under here. And basically just put it in like that. And then I could make up a piece of, filter material, excuse me. And I'll just slide it in from the side, and that should be all we need. All right, so you just mount it in the vise like this, guys. Put this little edge off the side of the vise so that when you bend it down, it's not gonna hit anything. You could get a nice bend. I kind of just do it by hand, and then I'll take a rubber mallet. This one isn't gonna go completely because this side's hitting it, so I'll probably take it off, put it on the edge of the bench, and just finish it off. All right, I got it bent up. It's looking pretty good. Just had to notch this little piece right here. I think I could definitely get 2 little screws up here, countersunk, and maybe just weld the nut on the bottom here, and then I'll catch 2 on the bottom easily. I don't love where I put these fittings, unfortunately. This one's fine. It's on the back side. I mean, it's definitely tight, but this one I don't like at all. I think it's low enough that I should be able to slide the filter in there, but it is what it is. I'm just gonna take this over to the drill press now, kind of put a bunch of holes on this side so it'll be able to breathe air through here and through here. All right, so this took me so long to make. I feel like I should have made a video just for this thing. But anyway, changed my design a little bit. I didn't want to mess with this top here because the gasket has to go there. And this thing is so solid, I decided to just put 1 little angle bracket here, and all I did was put 1 spot weld like that, another screw, and it's solid enough. If I really pull on it, I could bend it out, but all it's doing is holding that filter element, like I said before. Now I'll pull everything back apart. I'll mount the fan from the inside, and I'll put Loctite, and this part will be done. All right, guys, so I just made up 2 quick angle irons. These holes were already here. Not doing anything crazy. This is going to be mounted in the corner of the machine. I need to raise it up just a hair to clear the main knife switch. So what I did was came up with these angle irons, like I said before, and then I just found this little piece of like 1-inch box tubing. I'm going to weld it. I'm going to cut it to the exact length that it'll match up with the end of the angle iron. Just cut it here, cut it down there, weld it to it real quick, and drill 2 holes. And I'm just going to use these little countersunk 1/4-20s. I'll put it like that. I'll screw it in so it's nice and flush, and then I'll mount the box to it.